Alright, this is the first installment of a 6 to 7 part series called Triumphant Return to the Blues by me, Blue Bear. For the last 2 months, I have been not able to play anywhere as far as out. I play Blues Harp for people who have just started watching these videos and such, who've checked out any of my music by chance. Before 2 months ago, I was playing with a couple of bands, one out in Jacksonville, one in Hilliard, Florida, and I got sick. Still, I don't know what's going on as far as what's wrong with me. However, I'm going to go back and play, hopefully this coming weekend, this Sunday. So, as long as everything goes fine this week, as long as I don't show any, sickness issues, then I'll be back on stage this week playing with a band called Under Construction. This is the first installment. It's called the Triumphant Return to the Blues. Their stage. I haven't got the title quite down yet. So, yeah, I started playing a long time ago. I started when I was 16, matter of fact, and I started out in church, just like a lot of regular musicians do, and it spawned from church until I heard of the Blues Brothers, actually, my first real big influence. Dan Aykroyd, Elvis Blues, John Belushi, and his, Joliet and Jake persona. And that's where it all really started for me as far as, the whole blues persona and such. And I started out with, stuff like the Blues Brothers and stuff like Little Walter, and I played on occasion, and I actually put it down for a little bit, about a year. And I picked it back up again when I was about 17 and a half, by 18 years old. And I met a couple friends out in Hilliard who I'll leave unnamed, just for the sake of maybe they might not want their name on YouTube. And they, introduced me to Stevie Ray Vaughan, and introduced me to, Buddy Guy, and, all these other great guitar players. I'm not a guitar player, I'm a blues harmonica player, but these legendary blues musicians. And I just started, I fell in love with it. I'm another, white boy from the South. I haven't done much as far as music. I play in bars, I do all this, and I had started in church, and all of a sudden I hear these guys, who I've never heard of, at 17 years old, which for some of you probably is like, oh, wow, that's sad, but, yeah, I fell in love with them at, 17, 18 years old, and it went from there to, John Pott from Blues Traveler, Sonny Boy Williamson, Howlin' Wolf, all these great harmonica players, all these great singers, and I, just got, the inspiration to start playing. And so that's what I did. I searched, through the neighborhoods and through the city that I lived in and into Jacksonville looking for people to play with. And it's went all right so far. I don't make very much money, if I make money at all. But that's not what the blues is about to me. I will explain that, a little more in the next couple installments, but the blues to me is not about the money. It's not. If it was about the money, I'm sure that it'd be on the radio every week. New top hits from B.B. King and such. But it's not, and that's because unfortunately, the mainstream media doesn't see the blues as a paying art. And to be quite honest and to be quite frank about it, unfortunately, it's not anymore. And that's because the generation has changed. It's not the 1950s, the 60s, the 70s anymore. The blues has left the main stage, and what's came in is this, is this reverberated trash can garbage. This Miley Cyrus, this, Gangnam Style dubstep, this bullshit. That's what it is. In my opinion, of course. Now, if any of you are offended at this point, there is an X button at the top of your screen to the right, a stop button, to the bottom of this screen to the left. You have all, I don't care, if you want to leave or not. But that's my opinion on it. As far as I'm concerned, the blues held a very, more specific detail as far as the music went. When they got up on stage, they didn't get paid that much back in the day. they were lucky to get paid at all, especially with the way things went back then. And they got up and they played like they were making $1 million. And that's the way I play. That's the way I want to stay. I get up there on stage, I play like it's the last day I'll ever play again. And for the last 2 months, it has been crazy. It's almost like a drug for some people. I mean, it's almost like a drug for a lot of people. When you get up on stage and you see that crowd up there and you play and you've got the rhythm and the groove and the band behind you is just playing their asses off. And, you've got that harp in your hand and you can touch people with your music. It's hard to break. It's worse than cigarettes. It's worse than weed. It's worse than any other known drug to this world. But that's just the beginning of the installments. Tomorrow, I'll put another installment tomorrow, and we'll talk more about it. All right. Good night.